Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
With the focus of education in India shifting towards skills and experiential knowledge, it's very important to have industry connect for the institutions. A lot of institutions and universities are gearing up towards this. So, talk about Industry Academy Connect. We today have with us Professor Saranjit Singh, Vice Chancellor, KIIT University, Bhubaneswar. Thank you for sparing time for us today, sir. So to begin with, I'd like to understand from you, how important do you think the industry-academia relationship is in today's scenario?
Industry-institute interaction, as you very rightly have said, sir, is a very, very vital activity in today's context for sure. And we are very proud to share with you that KIIT is a university which has been working very closely with corporate and industry. And I have been one of those person in last 12 to 15 years have been driving industry-institute interactions with the motto that we should stay ahead of the curve. My journey at KIIT with so-called those days training and placement started in 2011 as a Dean Training and Placement, and within 6 months I along with some of my friends in corporate, we figured out that possibly training and placement is not the right keyword. It has to be industry engagements. And then what I did was, being a professor coming from mechanical engineering and the previous dean, I pulled in some young faculty members, created a team, and we call it Industry Engagement Cell. And from there, the journey started. The motto of this Industry Engagement Cell was to connect with industry, understand where the industry has been heading, understand where actually the talent pool will go and join, and what are the requirements of industry. At university level, we used to come up with these ideas, with this information, and we used to bounce off with our internal stakeholders. And we used to try to realign our internal stakeholders, the HODs, the deans, the professors, and many of the activities aligning to this requirement. And a lot of interactions we did with industry and a lot of engagement plans we started. Net, if you see in last 10, 14 years, my understanding of industry engagement is that all the activities can be classified into 4 different levels. So we call it level 1, 2, 3, 4. And level 1, 2, 3, 4 are all classified based on the time period of the interaction between an academic institution and industry, as well as the quantum of interaction. So something which every institute does, going to industry, asking them to come and deliver a pep talk, a tech talk, participate in a half a day, 2-day workshop kind of stuff, was something which is very level 1. Everybody was been doing, we were all been doing. Level 2 is something where you engage deeply for beyond 1, 2, 3 days or a week time. That is kind of a semester engagement, where probably can you think of sending your students for a semester internship? Can you think of designing a course which can become industry elective under the open elective and can be rolled out to the students? And likewise, the level 3 is something where you have some collaboration in form of some kind of a cluster of electives so that it becomes a minor or a specialization, or it can also lead to some co-branded programs. And the ultimate level, what we call is that either a startup or maybe a full-blown matured industry can come up within the campus and can set up their center of excellences here, can set up their signatures here and can start operating, and we'll give them a space. We'll work out a mechanism, a win-win situation for all the stakeholders or partners, students, industry and institute. And probably as the time goes, they can also grow and our students and faculty and fraternity also benefit. Last 10 years, we have experimented all these levels. So right now, we are in a situation where we are majorly actively involved with level 3 and 4. So today, if you ask about some examples, we have companies like High Radius Corporation, which is a fintech company, Hyderabad based, is basically have offices in US and many foreign cities as well. We have given them a space which we call as Fintech Center of Excellence or a Fintech Lab. And last 5 years, they have grown to a level where 300 direct employees of high radius are stationed within our university. And 3 floors amounting to close to 1.5 lakh square feet area with almost 1500 to 1600 seating capacity has been given to them. So what our student does there, or what we does there, our almost 1000 to 1200 students every year in 4th year, they go and join this company as an intern within the campus without getting disrupted. And they are being exposed to the experiential learning end to end for 1 year. And there is a mechanism what we call as dripping down PPO model, where basis the performance of a student, there is a leaderboard and students get offers starting from their performances in a pecking order from top. And who gets an offer from or gets converted into a full-time offer from the company, he or she gets withdrawn from our campus program. Who doesn't get, probably they keep on participating in our campus programs and either they get a benefit from there. The arrangement is so made that at the end, at least 60-65% students get PPO, and the rest of the students, the experiential learning goes to a level so that they actually crack some of the other best companies which comes to the campus. And probably even after working in the company for a couple of years, they are also getting leapfrogging with respect to their salaries and career ahead. So this kind of arrangements we have done. So this is one, but then we have been working very closely with companies like Ericsson, with companies like KPIT, with companies like KFintech, Ericsson I mentioned. So these all we have worked out some assorted courses which in the form of open electives or industry electives or in the form of specializations. And these subjects and specializations are not only is been co-developed, but it is also being getting co-taught to our students, especially in pre-final and final years. So these kind of arrangements KIT has done over a period of time.
So it's kind of understood now that academia is benefiting in some way or the other. But how is industry warming up to it? For example, when you reach a corporate house, how receptive are they? I mean, do they get the idea or do they find some value in their association with the university?
Faculty like us or people who have been in helm of affairs for training and placement and industry engagements, when they reach out to industry, they only look into very transactional level. It's all about numbers game, and we connect only with HR. And we go back and we say them that why don't you please come and visit our campus and take our students. That's it. Which is very transactional. But then if you request HR that can some meetings be put forward with their technical HODs or heads or the business heads will be very much interested. And they will be very much excited if there is an idea of having an engagement. Because ultimately they are the people who are been actually running the show and bringing the business and profit to the company. My response to this is that most of the times whenever I have gone with an idea, I have got a very high confirmation and a positive response. And that's why this all had happened. It's only about us to understand that we have to come out of our cozy state of mind and cozy state of affairs. If we are there to have this relationship in place, this marriage in place, and we are ready to disrupt ourselves, and we go and ask them for a collaboration, I think collaboration can happen. Most of the companies are interested for a left shift, and it is a good proposition for them, because if they can get an industry ready talent, the amount which they are going to spend on the freshers which they are hiring, and even to that extent laterals within 2-3 years of experience, it gets diminished, and the duration of the training also gets diminished. So if they get a billable, trainable folk at the day one, I mean every company will be happy. But the only thing is how much this left shift can happen, how much they can invest in the campus, what kind of conflict of interest may arise, because there's a lot of trainings which can happen in a campus that the students who are still as an intern and still as a student will have an access to their data and a lot of confidential things. So that agreement on confidentiality and so many things. So, but then if it is taken care of, I mean, a win-win situation happens. So there are very few companies who says that, okay, we can't do it because there is a conflict of interest or there is confidentiality thing, but it is still a workable thing. So I'll share one.
Areas of concern.
Yeah, so I'll share one very good experience. There was one company, I'm not naming it for all obvious reasons. So they wanted to have a lab and where our 40-50 students should be getting trained. but the kind of data access which they will have would have been very, very important for them, because these are the client data on which they are sitting, and they feel that if there is any data theft or a data breach happens, then what if? So we all put together our mind, and after certain discussions, we brought in a third party insurance into place. We said, okay, let's bring in insurance, a third party insurance, where we will have an insurance of this all access on the data and the subsets of the data in which the students will be working and their people will be driving, so that if at all any undue, any unseen, foreseen, unforeseen things happen, then it can be protected, and company is also protected, and we are also protected as an institution, as a business entities, as an two organizations. But I don't feel otherwise there is any other issues. The issue is all about mindset. The companies has to understand, if they want industry ready talent, there has to be a proper left shift. They have to invest within the campus. When I say invest, it is not with respect to commercial or financial terms. It is investment with respect to their subject matter experts and their know-how, their knowledge, which has to come into the campus. And similarly, from the institution side, if they really want to forge a tie, you have to come up to a mindset that yes, I want to get disrupted. I need to come out of my cozy state of mind, and I need to adopt to certain changes and things happening in the marketplace. See, I tell you, I'll give you some examples. So recently we started some co-branding with L&T Mindtree, with L&T Edutech. We brought two specializations for BTech Mechanical, for BTech Civil, for BTech Electrical in each of these streams, in the areas of electric vehicles, in the area of digital engineering and cyber physical systems, and so on. When we were talking and discussing with them, the company's only concern was about this privacy and all those stuff. But they were very happy to be a part of co-developing this curriculums, and probably right now we just launched it and the batches have just started. And I was just taking feedback a couple of days back, and they were very happy interacting with students and delivering. So in certain courses, our faculty members are taking 60-70%. In certain courses, our faculty members are only taking 30 or 20%, depending upon whether the expertise is there or not. So the challenge is with respect to the competency. When you bring in those changes in the curriculum, when you bring in those subjects and courses, the faculty members also need to be retrained. So vis-a-vis, when you bring those changes, and let's say you want to bring in Industry 4.0 or Industry 5.0 subjects to be taught, who will teach that? And whether our faculty members have been trained, retrained or reskilled enough so that they can deliver. So that is a bottleneck. So it's more on mindset. So, but then I was happy that I could able to mobilize, motivate our bunch of faculty members. A lot of faculty development programs and faculty retraining has happened. And now they are able to, in a position to deliver. And over a period of time, we have said that in 3 years, let most of the content to be delivered by our faculty members. And that's the kind of hand-holding the company has to come in and pitch in. So that is the only roadblock and the pitfalls. Otherwise, there is no.
So coming back to skilling part, see, if the industry is getting industry ready, talent for their whatever respective company, so skilling is one very important aspect they'll be looking for. They want rightly skilled people. So academia can provide skilling from their side, okay. But then, is there any effort or any kind of avenues from the corporate side in terms of providing skills or enhancing the skills, not only for the students, even for the faculty, as you just mentioned? So are there any efforts happening from the industry side to enhance the skilling part?
Yeah. See, there are many structured mechanisms which industries have brought in for the skilling thing. And there are some initiatives by certain companies which they have been approaching few campuses where they are signing an MOUs to bring those skill training in the campuses. But then again, if you look into skilling, what do you mean by skilling here in this case? When I talk about higher technical education, it's more about experiential learning. It's more about whether the people can be given an access to their platforms, their data, their know-how. And if that can be given, probably the people and the students have been handheld to a level where their skilling comes to a level where they can be accepted by the corporate. I think the job is done. So the access and everything has to come from corporate side. But then let's talk about a manufacturing company or a core companies. Like for them, they have to set up some labs and they have to set up some experiential labs where the students and their people can come together and can do. And we have been doing that also. For example, Bajaj has a provision now under their CSR. They've been moving around. There are companies like Honda which has set up some labs and so many guys. So we have a Bosch center here. We have an SKF center here. These are all on the core engineering side. We are coming up with a KPIT center of excellence here in the area of autonomous vehicles and softwares. Along with L&T Mindtree, we are coming up with electric vehicles. And this all is happening. So it also definitely involves some money which need to be pumped in for purchasing of those. But a lot of companies have got programs through their CSR wing. They have been putting their efforts. Yeah, that's happening.
So as we are talking about skilling and holistic development of a student in terms of career and academics. So one document that comes very close to it is NEP 2020. So which actually is the soul of the whole document is that only. So what do you have to say about that NEP 2020? How do you see that document and how are you guys implementing it here at KIIT?
In our generation, is something good which we have seen as far as our regulators are concerned. I mean to say ICT or UGC or Ministry of Education or Government of India. Something which is very, very fabulous which they have brought in is an NEP 2020. There is a lot of debate, there is a lot of things happening. There are a lot of universities heads who have been talking about it. There are a lot of universities who have gone into it. But in my personal opinion is that this is something which is one of the most innovative thing which the government has done. And from day one, we were very aggressive on NEP 2020. We have a core team. We call it the Committee of UG and PG Deans. So we have a proper academic department where we have a Director Academics. Under that, we have Dean Undergraduate Program, Postgraduate Programs, PhD Programs, and so on and so on. And some senior faculty members. A core team has been created which was looking into complete implementation of NEP 2020. Our all undergraduate programs right now is NEP compliant from last 2 years. We have already done that. We have completely created academic bank of credits. We have followed all the national qualification framework and curriculum frameworks. And accordingly, everything has been designed for all the undergraduate programs here in the university. And it's only the post-graduation program which will be going to start from this year onwards. Because if you look into NEP 2020, which has got a multiple entry exit thing. So a student can exit in 3 years, can still get let's say a BTech degree. But somebody who goes for a 4-year program gets a BTech degree with honors or by research. For 4-year program, somebody who has done that, any 4-year program, the post-graduation for them has to be of 1 year. So entire post-graduation program now, somebody who has done for 3 years has to do for 2 years, and somebody who has done 4 years has to be 1 year. So there is a lot of disruption in the post-graduation program which has to be created, which as far as the curriculum design is concerned, which we have to do it. But if you even look into what UGC says, it says that even whether it's a 1-year program or a 2-year program, it can be completely done physically here. That is one option. It can be done in a hybrid mode and it can be also done in the online mode. So another 3 levels of disruptions within that. So 2024-25 academic session, we are going to start with few of the PG programs. We will create 1-year condensed PG programs for those programs. So somebody who wants to do a PG after 4-year program can do 1-year condensed and can still get a proper PG degree. And those from 3-year programs can continue doing with 2-year program, because this is a transition time. So once most of the institutions or all of the institutions in a particular zone or in the entire nation, they are NEP compliant, then it becomes much easier. And we are very happy to say that probably we are the first university in the entire Eastern India who started implementing NEP 2020, and we were the first university in entire Eastern India who started with academic bank of credits. And our all degrees, our all certificates, our all mark sheets are in academic bank of credits, as well as in the DigiLockers of the students, completely online.
Wonderful. So putting NEP 2020 and the concept of academy industry relationship together, where do you see the future of education in the country?
I feel future is very bright. See, for me, I understand there are 2 things which I like to bring it here. One is, what is the role of a faculty? For me, a faculty or a professors or a teachers like us, we have to understand we are a very critical resource of a nation. We have to understand that. This is one. Second is, right now the generations which are coming for education, let's say, when you're sitting today, as of now, when we are talking about this, and down the line, even for the next 10 years, today the maiden age of India is less than 30 years. By 2030, the maiden age in India will be close to 32, 33 years. So the average age of Indian population is much young, and we are sitting on a heap of young talent. And we have to manage this talent, and we have to ensure that the young generation which has been coming up, their energy has been channelized in a proper way. So the dividend on which we are sitting, as far as the demographic dividend, the kind of age which we have, and faculty understanding being a critical resource, if these two things goes in line with each other, and when you have instrument like NEP which has just opened all the doors and windows and allowed the fresh air to come in with respect to flexibilities, with respect to bringing in linkages not only with corporate, but for example, now you can bring in corporate people as a part of your teaching learning process as POP, Professor of Practice. So this year we have already gone into that, and yesterday only I have sent 100 mails. So we are targeting 200 Professor of Practice. And this all will be effective by the end of the next, by the end of this present academic year, and by the start of the next academic year. So 200 working professionals who will be POP full-time, plus some of them will be, a large number of them will be adjunct, who will be involved in on various activities at KIT. Apart from that, a lot of international faculty members. So we are working on internationalization. 2024, 2025 is our 2 years which we have declared for internationalization of education at KIT. So already more than 200 MOUs with various universities across globe and in India. And now we are looking into those joint degrees and dual degrees so that the students can take advantage of that. So NEP 2020, the demographic dividend, understanding the role of a faculty to be more on a mentorship side and a critical resource, and even the Viksit Bharat 2047 framework which our Honorable Prime Minister and the present government of India has given. Club all taken together definitely can create a nation which can become, in true sense, a developed nation and a Viksit Bharat in the next 25 years. You will be very happy to know that it coincides with our IDPs also, Institutional Development Plan. So last year we completed our 25 years. So we celebrated our silver jubilee, and we call it as version 1.0 of KIT, and version 2.0 has begun and started, and it coincides with Viksit Bharat 2047. So we said that by another 25 years, we create an IDP, Institutional Development Plan, which can be broken down into 5 years plans, and again to a micro level at 1 year plans, so that we can be a very active partner in this progress of our nation by bringing in more talented, complete individuals, 360-degree, properly developed global citizens from our university who can take India to that level.
I'm very glad to hear all that, Professor Singh. And we are very fortunate to have institutions like KIIT who are taking our education system onto a right path. So thank you so much for joining us today. And we wish you all the best in all your endeavors and all your programs.
Thank you so much. At the last, I will say we are very happy that we work under the august leadership and mentorship of a highly visionary person who is not nothing but Professor Dr. Achyut Samanta, who is the founder of Kit and Kiss. And you have seen his story. And we are blessed that we are a part of that family. A lot of innovative things are happening here. For example, we do a lot of failure workshops. Nobody knows about this. If you go to corporate, you will find out there is something called failure workshops. So suppose if I have thought of 10 ideas and I'm moving ahead, there could be a couple of ideas which have not worked to our level of expectation. Now we do a very high level of threadbare brainstorming to understand where we have gone wrong and why we have gone wrong. And we accept first that this has happened and these are some of the failures which has happened, and then corrective actions are initiated accordingly. And this is the kind of confidence and this is the kind of, you can say, the governance which our honorable founder has instilled on us. And I think that's the reason why in last 25 years, KIT, along with KISS, and primarily KIT as a university, has grown year on year in such a big fashion. And today it has become a household name. Not in India. We have got students from 65 countries. We have one campus which we have been attracting foreign students from 65 countries. Last year, probably we clocked more than 1,500 students in the campus who came from foreign to study here. So aggressively, we are moving to the internationalization of the education here. And there will be a lot of, and this will both inward and outward. So there will be a lot of our students who will be, you will see, will go and pursue very high level of degrees abroad in some of the niche institutions, very high ranked institution. And we can also able to attract a lot of talent, not only from global south, but also from the global north, from Americas and Europe, who will come and pursue it. That's the vision, next 10 years.
Right. We wish you all the best, and I'm sure you'll go much ahead from where you are today.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
So with all the innovations, experimentations, and all the good thoughts about education, imparting education in the country, we seem to be moving ahead in a very, very fast manner. And as the KIT can be cited as an example of implementing it right. So academia, industry relationship, or experiential learning, if you are doing that right, we have a good, bright future ahead. Thanks for watching.